What created a 40-kilometer bullseye in the middle of the Sahara, one so large it's visible from space? In 2018, a YouTube video claimed this was Atlantis, the lost city described by Plato 2,400 years ago. The video got 3.8 million views. It appeared on Joe Rogan, and it convinced millions that the mystery was solved. This is the Richat Structure in the Adrar region of Mauritania. Gemini 4 astronauts James McDivitt and Ed White first photographed it from orbit in June 1965. It became known as the Eye of the Sahara. Claim number 1. The concentric rings match Plato's description. Let's test it. Plato described a city with rings spanning 23 stadia, about 4.3 kilometers across. The Richat structure is 40 kilometers wide. That's more than 9 times larger. In his dialogue Critias, Plato specified exact measurements: a central island of 5 stadia, surrounded by rings of water and land, each 1 to 3 stadia wide. The total ring system is about 4.3 kilometers. The claim that it matches the Richat relies on a different measurement, 127 stadia, which actually refers to the diameter of the entire city, not just the rings. Claim number 2. It's located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, just as Plato described. Let's fly there. From the Strait of Gibraltar, we travel nearly 2,000 kilometers south, deep into the Sahara. Plato said Atlantis was an island in the sea. The Richat structure sits 500 kilometers from the nearest coastline, at nearly 500 meters above sea level. Claim number 3. The Sahara was once green and wet, so the structure could have been surrounded by water. This is partly true. During the African humid period, roughly 15,000 to 5,500 years ago, the Sahara had lakes and rivers. But the Richat structure sits on the Adrar Plateau, nearly 500 meters above sea level. During the Younger Dryas, around 12,000 years ago, sea levels were actually 60 to 80 meters lower than today, not higher. Geological surveys confirm this area has not been submerged for over 99 million years. So what is it? In 2005, geologists Matten, Gebrak, and Lee published the answer. The Richat structure is a deeply eroded geological dome. About 100 million years ago, an alkaline magma intrusion pushed up layers of sedimentary rock from below. Over millions of years, wind and water eroded the softer rock, leaving the harder quartzite ridges standing, creating the concentric rings we see today. A 2024 study published in Lithos by researchers from France and Australia revealed the full story. Phase 1 occurred around 200 million years ago when the supercontinent Pangaea was breaking apart. Magma from the Central Atlantic magmatic province intruded as horizontal sheets into the ancient sedimentary rock. Phase 2 came 100 million years later. A second, alkaline intrusion pushed everything upward into a dome 40 kilometers across. Intense hydrothermal activity dissolved and collapsed the rocks at the center, creating a massive breccia. The structure we see today is the eroded skeleton of that dome. Not rings of water and land, but rings of rock, millions of years old. If this were a city, where is the evidence? Archaeological surveys going back to the 1970s have found no buildings, no roads, no harbors, no pottery, no metalwork, none of the standard indicators of any ancient settlement. The only human artifacts are stone hand axes from the Acheulean period, found along the outer ring. These were made by early humans up to 1.7 million years ago, long before any civilization, let alone Atlantis. There's one more problem with the Atlantis theory. Most classicists agree that Plato invented Atlantis as a philosophical allegory about hubris and divine punishment. It appears in only 2 of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. No other ancient Greek writer before Plato ever mentioned it. No peer-reviewed archaeological or geological paper has ever supported the claim that the Richat structure is Atlantis. But here's what's remarkable. The Richat structure doesn't need to be Atlantis to be extraordinary. It's a window into 100 million years of Earth's geological history. Visible from orbit, recognized as one of the world's first 100 geological heritage sites by the International Union of Geological Sciences in 2022. In 2025, the European Space Agency released new Sentinel-2 imagery, highlighting the structure's different rock layers and striking false color detail. Researchers continue to study it, not as a lost city, but as a geological laboratory that helps us understand how continents break apart and how magma reshapes the Earth's surface. The real mystery of the Richat structure isn't whether it's Atlantis. It's how a magmatic event 100 million years ago left a mark so perfect that astronauts recognize it as a landmark from orbit. And it's only 40 kilometers from Uadan, a real UNESCO-listed ancient city that actually exists. A 3.8 million view YouTube video didn't solve the mystery of Atlantis. But the Richat structure is still one of the most extraordinary geological formations on Earth. Sometimes the real story is more impressive than the myth.